What's up, my veggies? My name is VTR, and welcome back to another movie review. And I'm actually kind of on time in the movie for once. I know, right? It's kind of been a shock lately with reviewing movies. I kind of get late to them and everything, and I'm still behind on movies in the past few years that I have to review. And I didn't even review the last Spider-Man movie that exists, No Way Home, which I still need to review. Um, but let's just go ahead and talk about this movie because that's what this is focused on, which is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I knew I had to talk about this immediately because, like, almost like only like one of my friends have seen it, and I really needed to talk about it verbally. So before we get into the actual review, let's read the synopsis, shall we? Miles Morales returns for the next chapter of the Oscar-winning Spider-Verse saga, an epic adventure that will transport Brooklyn's first time full-time friendly neighborhood Spider-Man across the multiverse to join forces with Gwen Stacy and a new team of Spider people to face off a villain more powerful than anything they have anything they have ever encountered. There's a hair on my That's all I'm going to say, talking about spoilers until I get to the second half of this video, because there's a lot I want to talk about with this movie, and I mean a lot. So I cannot promise it's going to be a short review, but I'll try to get my general thoughts out before I will try to review most of the movie first without spoilers, and then I'll let you guys know before the spoilers actually start. So let's go ahead and get into this review, shall we? First things first, I was super excited for this movie. I was super bummed when it got delayed. It was supposed to come out, wasn't it like last year or early this year? Somewhere on that ballpark. I don't remember exactly, but I know, it got delayed. I was super disappointed that the movie got delayed because I was extremely, extremely excited about this movie. and and now that it's finally out, I was super duper excited to see it. I got into my theater, I sat down, had my popcorn, got in there right before the movie started. Got my popcorn, got my drink, was sitting there, was ready for the movie. And actually, I don't know if you can see it, my popcorn bucket for this movie is right there. So but I was super duper excited to see this movie. I sat down, watched like the first 15 minutes of it, and realized I had to step out of not the first, maybe the first 10 minutes. And I was like, okay, I need to step out of here for a second, because it's kind of a story before I get into actually talking about the movie itself. So I was like, the volume in my theater was like really quiet, or the audio was mixed, or they were playing the audio weird. This isn't the movie's fault. This is just my theaters. I want to tell the story real quick. I had to leave the theater, asked that, hey, something's wrong with the audio. It's really quiet. I can barely hear it. And went back, sat there for another, and then maybe about 5-ish minutes and more sitting there. Audio kicked in normal. So I was like, okay, can enjoy the rest of the movie without having to leave my theater again. With that being said, I'm going to talk about the movie. First things first, this movie is amazing. Like, I went into this like, I was like, oh, it's going to be good, but I don't know if it's going to be able to match the first movie because of how good that movie was. I think I saw it like 3 times in theaters when it came out. And I really love Into the Spider-Verse. I thought that was such a good movie. And so you can tell my expectations being pretty high for this one. And I'm going to tell you right now, this movie exceeded my expectations. I want to talk about the animation first. The animation in this movie is some of the, if not the best animation I have ever seen in an animated film. Like, because the fact like the dimensions are in different styles, it's like super, super cool. Every dimension is like in a different animation style, and it looks phenomenal. Like, every scene is animated well, not every scene, but every dimension is animated in a different style. A bunch of the different spider people are in different styles, and it is just super cool. And like the movie, just overall is so much fun. And there's some there's one dimension they show in here. I'm not gonna give it away until I get into the spoiler section. That's really cool. And I was like, what? They did not do that. They did not do that. They did that. Which I did not think we would see in this movie of all things. And there's some stuff in this movie that is really insane with some of the references. And it's not like the references for sake of references. It's like it feels like, especially for some of the ones, are like, oh my goodness, that feels like there's a reason there. And oh, there's callbacks here, callbacks to other Spider-Man media and movies and stuff like that. There feels like there's a reason here. And also, the movie starts like when a good bit of the movie is character stuff. Like a good little bit when we first see Miles, a lot of it is very character stuff. About how Miles is struggling with being Spider-Man and his parents and everything, and it's really a lot of emotion is about, and I really think I know why they did all that. And we also get to meet our new villain, the Spot, which personally, when I heard about this character, I thought I was like, okay, he's gonna be like a side villain, but from the way he's introduced, you think he's gonna be a side villain. But he's not, though. He's like, he's our villain, and it's really interesting the way in the animation with this guy. I think they do with the way his powers work and all that, and the fact that like this guy's backstory is great. I'm not gonna go into any spoilers on that, but the movie focuses on Gwen a lot, which I like. I like seeing more of Gwen because Spider-Gwen is one of my favorite characters in Spider-Man, like Gwen Stacy or any form of Gwen in the Marvel comics. She's kind of one of my favorite characters. Gwen Stacy, Spider-Gwen, even Gwenpool, like all those characters are characters I really like and really enjoy. And getting more of her for this movie is definitely interesting. You get to follow a bit of her struggle through the movie. Miles is still our main character, obviously, but like, obviously, getting more of Gwen with this is very, very nice. Very, which I would not be surprised if in the future we got like maybe a solo film. I would not be against that. And also some of the new characters we got in here that kind of stick around a little longer than you would expect. The villain, not villain, forgot, I didn't mean to say villain. What is his name? Miguel O'Hare, which is Spider-Man 2099. I believe that's who he is. He does a great job in this movie. Like, he does a great, and a few, obviously we get some people. We also get some other returning. You get obviously Peter B. Parker comes back. He's not in the movie as much as you would hope, but he's there for a good bit and has like some good character moments with Miles. Some of the new characters, Jessica Drew. She is. I feel like they could have done more with her, and I feel like we probably will get more of her in the future. And like, other characters that Hobby, I think is his name, is the new character who's definitely fun to watch. And but I want to talk about the animation. Like there's this one, like the Hobby, I think his name is, the animation on him is like so distinct. Like, and like it, like the way the animation styles that are different clash but also work together in this movie. And dude, there's so much Easter eggs in this movie. There's a lot of, you have to pause and be like, oh, that's that. Oh, that's that. Oh, this is that. But oh, I imagine there's a whole bunch I didn't see. because I imagine as soon as this movie comes out on streaming and Blu-ray and all and digital and all that, there are gonna be a whole bunch of videos on the internet being like, oh, this little thing here, pause here, this little thing here, pause here, this little thing here, pause here. There's gonna be a whole bunch of that, like a whole bunch of the every single reference you missed in Across the Spider-Verse. But like this movie is a very strong character piece too. I think, and the action is insane. The action is just like insane and so much fun, especially with one scene with a bunch of Spider-Men swinging around. That is a really cool thing that I never thought we'd get to see on the big screen. A bunch of different Spider-Men just swinging around on screen at the same time, which is pretty darn cool. And the comedy, the comedy is still good. It is there. It's definitely the villain definitely has a lot of good spots where he's pretty funny. Peter B. Parker, you saw this in the trailer. I'm pretty sure you could tell I don't think this is a spoiler. He's got a daughter now. There's some fun little comedy there with that. Obviously Miles has got his quirks that you definitely have in the first one. There's definitely more there, and he's become a little bit better at some things. You can definitely see the struggle, but the thing is, this movie is a character piece. It does really good at like exploring Miles and what he's going through. And like Gwen, like you get that she's going through like pretty early on in the movie, and it's like really intense stuff. And it's like I was not sure if we were gonna see it. If we were gonna see it figured out or worked out in this movie. But yeah, I think overall this is such a good film, and I'll go ahead and give my rating now. I think this might be my favorite movie of the year so far. Like, I've seen some good movies this year. This is probably the best movie of the year so far. Like, this movie, it's gonna be hard to beat this one. Like, it's going to be really hard to beat this one. Because I don't know, it's just gonna be difficult. It's gonna be difficult to beat this movie because it is really good. I have to give it a 5 out of 5. I really do. I don't throw that rating out very often, but I think this movie deserves it. I think this movie, before I get into my spoiler section of the video, let's talk about the Rotten Tomatoes score, like I normally do. I try to do this as often as I can with reviews, but let's go ahead and talk about it. Critics give this a 95, and audiences give it a 97, which I think is great. I think that's a fair point to put this movie. But I think I want to talk more about some stuff for non-spoiler, but also I'm gonna say this real quick. This does leave the movie open for the next part, because originally, if you didn't know, this movie was planned it was labeled as part 1. So my guess is we'll probably definitely not gonna be next year when we get this next film, unless both movies will be working on side by side. I really think it'll be the year after we get the next film, probably. But let's go ahead. Okay, if you have not seen the movie yet, do not continue watching the video. You do not want spoilers for this, I promise you. Go watch the movie. Go watch the movie. All right, everyone that's seen the movie, that hasn't seen the movie yet, gone? All right, let's move on. Bruh, the dimension. There's a dimension in this movie that is fully, and we get a little bit of a longer scene than I expected we would. There's a Lego dimension in this movie. Like, what? There is a Lego dimension in this movie. Which I was like, what? Like, that was so cool. I was like, what the heck? And also, we get the Venom universe, like the actual Venom universe in this movie. We also get a live action Prowler. And when he goes to the Venom, like from the movie Venom, that's live action too. We don't see Tom Hardy, Venom, but we don't see him or anything. But we do see the shopkeeper of the place where the person that owns the grocery store or the shop or whatever we want to call it. And also during a scene where they're talking about how the timeline has these canon events. It's not canon, haha. I got that little joke there. We see live action stuff of Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. Like it's reused from the movies, but it is still cool to see it there. I don't think there was any Tom Holland stuff, but don't quote me on that. I don't think there was any Tom Holland, but I think if he was in there, I didn't see him. We did see the video game Spider-Man. Like it's actually like straight up him in the video game art style and everything. And like some of like the live action stuff next to the animated stuff looks really good. Also, the guy that Miles threw a bagel at in the last movie is our villain. He became the Spot. Which this villain, you think he's gonna be this like, villain of the week, not really our main villain. Like, this guy is a threat. He turns out to be a massive threat with some gorgeous animation when he starts going to other dimensions and absorbing these other colliders and other dimensions. He's like absorbing the colliders to get more power and everything. And also, we do get to see some cameos from the ones from the previous films. We also learn the spider in this movie is from a different dimension. We get some cameos from Penny, which she does have a line in this movie. I don't know. It's really quick, but also you do get a visual cameo of the ones from the last movie as well. With at the end of the film with Spider-Ham, Spider Noir. You see Penny again. Obviously, Peter Parker. And then all those, you see them again. And it's really cool to see those characters again. And I thought the movie really handled like putting all these art stuff. And seeing Miles deal with his conflicts in this about like knowing like, hey, there's a canon event happening and that you cannot disrupt, and it involves your father. And it's like I can't just stand back and let this happen. And it's like, no, you have to let it happen. We're gonna stop you from not letting it happen. And the way the movie ends when he gets sent back to his dimension, it's not sent back to his. It detects the DNA from the spider and sends him back to that dimension. So he gets there and he looks completely different there. And we get that in this dimension he's got sent back to. Miles has become the Prowler. His father's already dead in that dimension. And Uncle Aaron is still alive. And it's dark. And right when the movie, you think the movie's about to ramp up to some big final fight, it ends. But it's not like a lot. I know some people I saw on they were walking out. They're like a little disappointed by that. I was like, only I was when I waited for the after credits. I hope for something like you make a movie a two-parter and you don't tease something seriously. But that movie was so good, so well animated, so much fun, so funny. Like, this was a movie that, like, I do not think any other movie coming out this year will be able to top it. Like, yes, I'm excited for FNAF. I'm excited for Elemental. I'm excited for the new Transformers. I'm excited for a bunch of movies coming out this year. I do not think any of them are going to be able to surpass this one. I really don't. I think this is going to be the best movie of the year. It's going to be really stiff competition for the rest of the year. I feel like a bunch of people just got out of school, so releasing this right now is such a perfect time for people to go see it. And it's going to make a crap ton of money. And it's already getting great reviews from audiences and critics. People are loving this movie, and I'm probably going to wind up seeing it again because it is that good. But I want to know what you guys think down in the comment section below. I'm very curious what you guys think about this movie. I'm very, very curious. You like it? Did you watch the spoiler section even though you haven't seen it? Do you not care? Is the superhero fatigue really hitting you? I don't know, but this movie I think is great. Of the 3 superhero movies I've seen so far this year, this is the best one, definitely. Definitely better than Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. It is better than Guardians 3, even though Guardians 3 was really good. Have I done my review on that yet? I have not. I still need to review that. But this movie, I just straight up loved it, and I hope you guys did too. I do have another review. I'm probably not going to get it up today. I probably will upload it tomorrow. But I don't want to say what the movie is, but with recent releases, you can probably assume what the movie is. I am going to review. If you know what came out recently, one of the bigger movies, you'll know what I'm talking about. And no, it's not Fast and the Furious 10. But I hope you guys enjoyed this review nonetheless, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!